I'm here in Helsinki with one of the leading lights of the science fiction fantasy community in Finland, editor of the Finnish New Weird Anthology and a Eurocon guest of honor, Jukka Halme. And I'm just going to ask him a few questions about Finnish fandom and Finnish writers. First of all, Finnish science fiction fantasy writers seem not just enthusiastic, but also very well organized. And I was wondering what contributes to this sense of community.
The Finnish fandom was basically born in the late 70s, and it's been going on, well, now about a bit more than 30 years. Uh, we started out in various cities, and there is no real basic Finnish science fiction association other than the authors or the writers. Um, I think the main thing for this sort of community feeling is the fact that the conferences we arrange are very big, and everyone takes part in them. Um, we also are very aware of the fact that the language group that we have is a very small one, so we need to pull together in all areas. Therefore, we have these cooperation meetings. It's a bit, it's not as political or bureaucratic as it sounds. It's very a free-flowing affair, and it's something that I think that the Finnish nature, which is fairly basic, we're basic Finns, uh, demonstrates its wonderful value to the science fiction community as a whole. Um, we might be, I think we are taking occasionally note of how the foreigners behave when they come to Finland to participate in our conventions. But we try to pick all the best sides of their behavior. But,
And you seem to have some university affiliations too, or at least contacts.
oh my God, the university, yes, yes. Um, the science fiction fandom was born in Turku by the university students. Well, most of them were students at the time, and still all the major university cities in Finland have these science fiction groups. Uh, it's very strong in Helsinki, Turku, and Jyväskylä and Tampere. Uh,
Yeah, and there are at least a couple of very high-profile novels out in the United States this year by Finnish writers. One fantasy and one science fiction. Bird Brain is the fantasy novel, and The Quantum Thief is the science fiction one, which is out from Tor Books.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about these books or authors and how they kind of fit into the Finnish scene? Because one's a new writer and one's been around for a long time and has done a lot
Almost
of different
forever.
things. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Johanna Sinisalo, whose book is The Bird Brain, has been around since the early 80s, I think. She was a very prolific fan and short story author in those days. There is an annual prize for the best short story in Finland, and she has won it like 7 times, which is obviously a record. And when she turned into writing novels with her first story, first book, which it has a couple of translations in English. The Troll, a love story,
Oh, right,
and
yes.
Not Before Sundown.
Yeah.
And when she won the Finlandia Prize, which is the equivalent of Whitbread, Booker, those kind of awards, and was then later on the recipient of the Tiptree Award. That was a major thing. And yeah, she's been around for a longer time, for the longest time, and she's a wonderful author and a person. Whereas Hannu Rajaniemi hails from Scotland. Obviously, he was also originally Finnish. He's still Finnish, but
Right.
has made his mark and his name abroad. And I think that actually both Johanna and Hannu are from the same village up
Really?
north,
Wow.
Sodankylä, if I'm not totally mistaken. Anyway, they are not from any major southern cities. They are both from up north originally, which is
Yeah.
Pretty funny. But yeah,
What's the reception been to the Quantum Thief in Finland?
very enthusiastic, especially since it has received this enormous international acclaim, um, in several editions of it so far, and both the UK and US prints. Um, we don't get that much proper science fiction done nowadays. The originally, I mean, science fiction was the ground, the force that everything was based on, and then fantasy came, and at some point it turned into this more or less, let's say, magical realism, the Finnish magical realism kind of stuff, which is combining the various slipstreamy urban fantasy, new weird threads together, pulling from different genres and crossing the borders with, and exhibiting this Finnish habit for melancholy and high technology and whatnot. But this proper science fiction adventure has been missing for quite some time now.
Yeah. And Bird Brain, last time we were in Finland, we were told that there's often a rural theme running through Finnish science fiction and fantasy just because you have so much wilderness. Bird Brain, I don't believe is actually set in Finland, but it has definite wilderness themes. Does it seem to you to be something that's quintessentially Finnish, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed it's situated in Tasmania, which is pretty much as far as you can get from Finland on a global scale. Finland is made of wood and lakes and a couple of urban areas. So wilderness and the landscape of the land is very rural and very unurban. I think rural and unurban might be the same thing. But yeah, Bird Brain, it somehow even points to the more mainstream fiction that Finland produces, or used to produce in mass. The victory of your everyday man over nature. The way that we as man are together with the animal kingdom, or we the man are together with nature. Yeah, it harks back to those Finnish authors that I think the nation holds in high esteem.